Brand positioning is a popular business concept in theory, but in real life, most people still get it wrong. Usually, when an entrepreneur gets brand positioning advice, they're told to pick something that makes them different and come up with a cool slogan. And that's it. But is that really brand positioning? Here's an exclusive sneak peek from a video inside the Founder's Potential Premium, where I break it down in a much clearer way.
The concepts from the book The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing have dominated marketing and branding thinking for decades. The key point is shown in this video.
This leads to the central concept of the book, described as the most powerful concept in marketing: owning a word in the mind of the potential customer. This is the law of focus. If a company can own a word or a concept in customers' minds, it can achieve great success. It's the concept of market positioning, placing yourself in the customer's minds in relation to something. A company can't be known for everything. It must narrow its focus to something specific and strive to ensure that when potential customers think of that thing, they associate it with the company. For example, Volvo is one of many car brands. But when you think of safety in the car world, you think of Volvo because it owns that word.
If you own a concept or a word in the minds of your potential customers, you've hit the jackpot. This idea is fundamental, but it has two problems. It's hard to apply for small businesses, and in my opinion, some market conditions have changed. That's why these rules don't work exactly the same way today. In fact, one of the main laws for developing brand positioning, according to the book, was to be first in a category. And if you couldn't be first, you had to create a subcategory and be first in that. Check out this clip from the video.
The first law for market leaders is the law of leadership, which says it's better to be first in the market than to be the best. Many try to convince customers that they have the best product or service, but honestly, everyone says that, and the customer doesn't believe it. It would be much more productive to create a new market category or take an existing one without a perceived leader and focus your marketing efforts on being perceived as the first in that category. The first is remembered, the others are not. Who was the first person to walk on the moon? Almost everyone knows it was Neil Armstrong. And the second? Few remember. When a company manages to be perceived as the first, it's set. Often, the company's name even becomes synonymous with the category or a verb. Nutella is the world leader in chocolate spreads to the point that chocolate spread is often simply called Nutella. Google is the leader in search engines, and often instead of saying search this on Google, people just say Google this. The majority of the market will eventually be dominated by the leader and the second, so what can the others do? If they try to compete in the same broad market, they're doomed. They need to use the law of the category, which says, if you can't be first in a category, create a new category where you can be first. Nowadays, the broader categories are practically all taken, so smaller competitors need to be smart and specialize by creating a different category or subcategory where they can be the leader. For example, Red Bull didn't compete in the large and crowded soft drinks market, but created the energy drinks category.
This can be confusing because it seems like all you have to do to get into your customers' minds, brand positioning, is to choose the right market positioning and create a category where you are first. If you pick that segment, then they'll perceive you that way. Do you follow me?
Now let's clearly break down the difference between brand positioning and market positioning.
Brand positioning is about the associations your customers have in their mind about your company. It's what they think of you. Sure, you can influence it, but it really depends on how they perceive you. Check out this clip to see what I mean.
If you position yourself as an ice cream shop with 1,000 flavors because your positioning idea was to be known as the shop with the most variety, but because among those 1,000 flavors you also make very strange ones, customers know you as the crazy ice cream shop. What is your positioning? If you answered the crazy ice cream shop, you're correct. Many think their positioning is what they say it is. But remember, what counts are the customer's perceptions and the words that enter their minds. With your positioning work, you can only influence how your customers perceive you. If you do a good job, they will perceive you exactly as you want. But if they perceive you differently, a wise choice is to align with that positioning, if it makes sense. For example, Duolingo positioned itself as an easy and fun way to learn languages. But then, the internet started joking about how Duolingo was pushy in making you do the lesson. Duolingo rode the wave by embracing the idea that they are good at motivating you to keep studying, and now they even make ads with the mascot coming to find you at home if you don't do the lesson.
Once, we took a course and we got consulting from one of the leading experts in brand positioning. The whole thing was very expensive, but the result was very disappointing. Even he confused market positioning with brand positioning. He guided us toward a market positioning which was personalized supplements. But no customer ever perceived us that way. It was never really our brand positioning. Even though we wrote it and said it everywhere, it never stuck in people's mind. It was always just market positioning, and it was not aligned with the rest. And yes, it didn't work. It took years to change. This is a misunderstanding many people have when reading the book, which I had for a long time too. But I'm not saying it was a misunderstanding by the authors. They actually wrote these two laws.
It's better to be first in the mind of the consumer than first in the market. Yes, because even if you enter the market first, but few people know you, it doesn't matter. What counts is who becomes first in the customer's mind, not who enters the market first. To become a leader, you need a certain media presence and notoriety. Honestly, the bigger the market in which you want to position yourself as a leader, the more resources you need. So, if you don't have them, either you find them or aim to become the leader of a more niche market segment. You must consider the laws of resources and perspective, which state that to gain a position in the customer's mind, it takes many resources and some time for campaigns to take effect. So, choosing your market positioning is essential, and it's one of the first decisions you need to make. But that choice alone is not and will not create your brand positioning. To build real brand positioning, you need to get good at shaping the right perception in your customer's mind. And that perception is built through associations. You can shape those associations by choosing what you want people to connect you with, and what you don't want to be associated with. If you want my help with these key decisions for your business, you can check out the links below in the description. Otherwise, I hope this gave you a clearer idea, so you can work on it on your own.